that you've lost?
As the candle is passed, Linda Tarter honors the life of her son, Sam Keys, who committed suicide.
And he was a fine young man, and he was a good son. And he was loved by his family, and we're going to miss him terribly. We would say, never stop loving him. Never stop letting them know you care. Never give up. They need to know that they are not alone in this world. And they need to know that God loves them.
When the streets are your home, life can be dangerous, tragic, and full of sorrow. Other times, those slivers of hope and courage reassure us there is a way off the streets.
Inside. Come on.
The week before we first met 22-year-old Blue McKeon, he was living in an abandoned van in West Seattle. But today, Blue is walking into his own apartment.
I mean, this is seriously the nicest place I've ever lived in.
He got the money by asking for a loan from a friend and working a 10-hour-a-week internship at Peace for the Streets.
I just trying to make a big deal out of anything because it could always change, you know, so I don't like to pronounce anything because tomorrow might be different.
To make sure that doesn't happen, Blue got a second job, a full-time job at Plymouth Housing Group, a transitional housing complex for homeless and very low-income people.
Thanks for calling Plymouth on Stewart. This is Blue. How can I help you? I'm a building specialist, and which basically entails that I check people in and out. It's pretty cool, like especially the paycheck.
When he's not on the job, Blue works on improving his photography skills. For the first time in his life, he has the opportunity to work, to earn his own income, and to have his own apartment. That's a 180-degree turn from where he was just a few months ago, when he was sleeping in vans and scrounging in dumpsters for food.
It's overwhelming. I'm trying not to cry, actually, but it's really overwhelming. I actually had a friend of mine spend a couple weeks on my couch, and it was just so awesome to be able to do that because of how many people have done that for me.
Why do some become statistics while others find a way home?
Young people don't exit the streets because they want to relinquish a bad habit.
Ron Ruthruff from New Horizon Ministries has spent the past 25 years serving street kids in Seattle. He says there are 3 crucial steps in turning their lives around: building a relationship with them, provide basic services, and perhaps most importantly, help them discover the potential within.
Young people begin to exit the streets when they discover what their assets are, what their potential is, where they're gifted, where their strengths lie. In doing so, they begin to acknowledge, wait, the streets are actually impeding or interfering with my ability to do what I'm gifted at.
Helping street kids find their assets, their potential, there are many programs in Seattle that do just that. Sanctuary Art Center is one of them.
It's pretty good. Yeah, first cover, it's great.
Troy Carter is executive director of Sanctuary Art, a nonprofit studio in the University District that serves homeless youth and young adults. He says his goal is to offer a safe haven for kids who want to get off the streets and learn about art, theater, and music.
I think it's as crucial as food, shelter, those sort of basic things, because to me, the art-making process is how people make meaning.
Most of the youth participating in the program have had painful experiences in their young lives. Troy Carter believes that by offering them an opportunity to express themselves artistically, the healing process begins.
So say you've had all these experiences in your life, but there's sort of no outlet to understand them. They can sit down with some paint, and they can sit down with a canvas, and they can begin to tell that story.
Lawrence Clark and Carolyn Paul have found Sanctuary Art to be a valuable junction in their journey off the streets.
This is the tent I stayed at for about, 3 months.
Last summer, Lawrence lived in this wooded area in Kent while working part-time at a McDonald's restaurant. He still works at McDonald's, but is now living with his sisters. His life is in transition. Part of that transition includes a paid internship at Sanctuary Art.
It spells the letters.
You come here, to give people the time to express their mind. That's what art means to me. Art is something that I love to do because it's easy, but now I'm really talented, and it's always something that I succeed at.
For Carolyn Paul, art, plus the relationships she's been able to foster at Sanctuary Art, have helped her get off the street and into transitional housing provided by University Lutheran Church.
I'm very thankful. for everybody who's helped me better myself, as they say. I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, let's try it a little while. A little more.
Building relationships in a comfortable setting and pointing the way to a better life is rewarding for Troy Carter, but it comes with an emotional price tag.
Sometimes you forget. Tonight maybe they're sleeping outside or in the rain, and sometimes it will just hit me at the oddest moment. You know, it's hard to let it in all the time. So you kind of operate and like, I'm doing what I can. I'm providing this opportunity to create and to do art. And then every now and then you think to yourself, you're like, yeah, is there more? Is it enough?
We could all be asking the same questions. There are an estimated 1,300 young people under the age of 24 who are without permanent, stable housing in Seattle and King County. To lower those numbers, Seattle's Human Services Department launched an ambitious campaign in 2004 to end homelessness in Seattle once and for all within 10 years.
I think people are doing a really good job getting kids off the streets, and you would think that by doing that, helping people get stable housing, jobs, that the numbers would go down.
Unfortunately, the youth numbers haven't gone down, says Eric Anderson, Director of Youth Development. For every young person who is helped off the streets, Anderson says there's somebody ready to take their place.
So we still have kids aging out of foster care without a solid plan. You know, we're dropping kids support when you're 18. So we aren't doing as well as we should on keeping people from taking their place.
Anderson says extending benefits and service programs to young people after they turn 18 is a step in the right direction. But more shelter beds aren't the ultimate answer. In the end, Anderson says we need to focus on ending homelessness, not just managing it. More jobs and better education is part of the solution.
We should be doing more in terms of a society as a whole. I mean, government's investing, you know, pretty substantially. City of Seattle's got probably $3.4 million going into services for young people, youth and young adults who are homeless. So the investments are there, but the fact that people are comfortable with young people that are on the streets is not right.
Finding a sustainable life off the streets, it's easier said than done. For 5 years, Shadowhawk has wrestled with his demons, wrestled with the harshness of street life.
What's keeping me back is both my mental attachment to the streets, to the freedom that I have out here, and what's keeping me going right now and inspiring me to get off is my family. My family worries about me.
Shadowhawk says he's grown weary of street life and wants to get an apartment with a friend. He also hopes to enroll soon in the sign language program at the University of Washington.
And that's my goal, and that's what I'll be fighting for until I get it. If that means that I have to stop smoking pot to get that stuff done, I'll do it. It means I have to quit drinking, I'll do that.
What do you think your chances are?
Oh, I got it. I know in my heart, it's the will. It's all about the will, and I have that will. I need to get this done. I know in my heart, I know in my mind that I need to get this done, and I'm going to do it.
Only time will tell if Shadowhawk makes it. One can only hope that he does. As for the others we met during our time on the streets, Liam O'Brien is still spanging on the Ave. So is Jay Perry. Rumor has it that Veronica Pullis went to California, and Jay Lance and his friends are no longer squatting in the same house they lived in during the winter. What will happen to all of them? What should our reaction be to this fragile, often forgotten and neglected part of our community? Ron Ruthroff offers this suggestion.
If we love them and if we support them, they will provide a benefit to our community because of their giftedness and their uniqueness that we will be all the richer for if we invest in them.
Sadly, on this very night, some of the people you've just met in our program will be sleeping on our streets. It is disturbing and unsettling that this is still happening. Despite the success stories you've seen tonight, it is very clear there is a great deal of work to be done to end homelessness in our community.
And there are dozens of support groups in the greater Seattle area striving to make a difference. If you would like to help, perhaps make a donation, volunteer, or learn more about the work that's being done, go to our website, KairoTV.com.
Thanks for joining us on this Cairo 7 Family Connection special. I'm Steve Rabel.
And I'm Angela Russell. Cairo 7 Eyewitness News at 11 is next.